Grade 6. First lesson from Module 6 is actually use substitution to solve one-step equations. And at the end of this lesson, students will use substitution to solve one-step equation. To understand it well, let's actually define together or remember together the meaning of an equation. An equation is a mathematical sentence showing that two expressions are equal. Two expressions are actually equivalent or equal. How can I show that, or how the equation can show this? By actually using the equal sign between the two expressions. An equation contains an equal sign, and this is the basic difference. This is the actually a main difference between equation and expression. An equation, it must have an equal sign that shows that two expressions, or actually the two sides of the equations, are actually equal. Now, it's a mathematical sentence showing two expressions are equal, and one of the examples I can say that 3x is equal to 6. Now, this means that there is a number, you multiply it, you can replace x by it, then multiply it by 3, and it must give you 6. How many is solving, or how many solutions for one equation? Now, for equations that are actually have x to the power 1, like this equation, there is only one solution we can find. And for all of the equations that will be mentioned in this module, we will find one solution only. Now, when you solve an equation, you find the value for the given variable that makes the two sides of the, to the right and to the left of the equal sign are actually the same. When the two sides are the same, I can say about this equation, this is a true equation. This makes the equation true. This value, when the equation that I have it is, when you're replacing the variable by any number or any value, and this value, it makes the two sides are actually, the same. So I have a true equation. I can say about this value for the variable is a solution for the equation. You may be given a specified set of values to use to find solution of an equation. You can determine whether a value is a solution or not. By what? By actually substitute it or replace it. Okay, replace the variable by this value, and then decide which of these values will be the correct, or make the equation true, so it will be a solution, correct solution. Now, for example, if you are given the equation x plus 3.5 equals 7.9, now you have to choose, is 3.4 or 4.2 or 4.4 a solution? So you need to replace each value by, you need to replace x by one value from these three values. Then after that, you have to find the answer. Now, when you replace x by 3.4, for example, now let's look at this table. We can find out that if I replace x by 3.4, so as you can see here, I replace x by 3.4, then I add it to 3.7, then I ask myself, is it equal to 7.9? Now let's add together 3.4 plus 3.5, actually it's 6.9, so they are not equal. So is the value is 3.4 solution? No, it's not a solution for the equation. Now, if you try 4.2, then you will add 4.2 plus 3.5. It will give you 7.7, and this is not a solution. Why it's not a solution? Because actually the equal side is not equal to the left. The right side is not equal to the left side. So two sides are actually not equal. So the equation is not true. It's not a true equation. So 4.2 is not a solution. If you actually replace x by 4.4 here, now 4.4 is actually plus 3.5 is 7.9, which is exactly like the value to the right. So actually, yes, it's a solution. So 4.4 is a solution for this equation. Now, as you can see here, I can, guess, okay? You can just guess any value, then replace it, then check, and, then go back and revise the strategy. To find the solution of an equation, to find the solution of the equation 4.5 times x equals 135. Now, I have to guess, there is no value for x. So I will think about a number that you will multiply it by 4.5 will give you 135. Now, let's, for example, if you try 20. Now, when you try 20, so 4.5 times 20, it's 90. It's not 135, but I know from this trial that I have to increase the value of x. So I can, for example, put instead of 20, 25. Now, 25 multiplying by 4.5 is equal to 112.5. So I still need to increase the value of the x, or the value that I will replace x by it, 30. Now, when you try to, when you actually replace x by 30, it will be, here I can multiply. As you can see here, I can multiply 30 by 4.5. Just, remove 0 or cross out 0 with the decimal point, So I have 3 times 45, or 45 times 3, and it's equal to 135. So the answer is correct. Okay? Now, so guessing the value will help you to decide if you want to increase it, if it's not correct, and if it's not a true equation. Do you need to increase the value or decrease it? It depends on, what the, it depends on if the value, when you multiply it, will give you, less value than what the answer is, or more value. Now, do you think that there is another value that's a solution of 4.5x equals 135? It's impossible to have. It's actually not correct, and it doesn't make sense to have more than one value that you will multiply it by 4.5 and gives you 135. We can't imagine that there will be two values. It's impossible. There's only one value. To replace it by x to give you 135. Now, is 3, 4, or 5 the solution of the equation p plus 9.7 equals 13.7? Let's do the same steps. I will replace, p by 3 and then multiply it. Let's use a table. Now here, when you add to 3 to 9.7, it will be 12.7, and it's not the answer, but so close. Now 4, when you multiply it, it will be 13.7, and equals 13.7. Since the answer is the same from the right side and the left side, so actually, yes, this is a true equation, and and number 4 is a